Alright, boys and girls, we're out here with the Voyager Radius Pro. We don't have the seat on yet, or the bottle, the cup holder, but whatever. Yeah, we're going to do our 1 year. I've had it 1 year and 1 month, so we're going to do our 1 year range test. Now, on the range test a year ago, so that got, what, 16.3 miles? Yep, 16.3. Now 1 year, and believe me, this thing's been through hell and back, right? Crashed it and everything else. So yeah, so we're gonna give it our 1 year anniversary range test and see how that works out. Still gotta use that little clamp there to hold it together to keep, because that's where the crash was. There's the dent from the crash right there. So yeah, so let's see how it works out. The Electric XP did a really good job. It did the same mileage a year later as it did originally. So the mileage never changed. So the battery didn't degrade any. So we'll see about this one. All right. I had to do some major adjusting to these brakes. They were not, the bike wasn't stopping at all. So I had to get those all adjusted out. So it shouldn't be too bad with this seat. This seat's really comfortable. All right, kick some speed up here. So now we're looking at getting more than 60 or at least 16 miles. I don't think we'll get more, but we want to get at least the 16 miles that we got on the other range test, the original range test a year ago. So that's what we're looking at. You know, this Voyager Radius Pro, this is a really nice bike. Now they did do the upgrade on it to where now it has the dual brakes, the dual hydraulic brakes instead of the single mechanical brake. But it is a really nice bike, you know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here and go out to the name of that town I always forget out here. And then we're going to turn around. I just draw a blank every time I try to think of the name of that town. Just beyond me why that keeps happening. I'm telling you, this age, this oldness is kicking in, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, so that's like 4 or 5 miles out, and then we'll go back. Now this bike does not have cruise control, so that's kind of unfortunate. But it does have brake lights. But anyway, the new model has the dual disc brakes, hydraulic. But this bike, the motor is very quiet. Must be one of those direct drive motors. It doesn't have the gears in there or something. I don't know why this motor is so quiet, but it's about the quietest motor I have on any bike is this thing right here. Nothing can touch this thing for quiet. Oh, West Newton, that's the name of that place. West Newton. Oh, I got grandmas up here going 3 miles an hour. Oh, boy. Now this thing has a trip on it, but it does not have a, it doesn't have a total of your mileage on the bike. So I don't have no idea what the mileage on this bike is. Probably around I would say 600 miles by now. I've ridden this bike a lot. This was my all the time ride bike, you know, last winter. This bike never even sat in the house. This bike never was put in the house. This sat out in the cold all winter in the garage. Well, yeah, it was in the garage, but it was still in the cold. It was still cold out there, you know, 10 degrees and stuff like that, which you're not supposed to do with these batteries, but, you know, didn't seem to affect this one any. But yeah, this bike sat out all winter, where the other ones did not, so. Oh, I hate being behind these kind of people. They go 3 miles an hour, but they block the trail for everybody else. And they have no idea you're behind them because they're 150 years old and they can't hear. I'm going to cut off onto the road here for a little bit. See what it's like over here. Yeah, see, this is nice over here. West Newton, here we come. Maybe I can just take the road all the way to West Newton. It rides a lot smoother, I can tell you that. There, oh yeah, there's that owl house I stopped at when I was doing that range test on the electric XP. So I got around those slow pokes by going doing that. Okay, so we're at 3 miles. We've already lost a bar. Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn around. I don't feel like dealing with all these clowns out here. We're at, what, 4 miles? We'll go down to Shorty's right now and see how it's hanging down there. I should have just stayed on the road. I could have just took the road all the way up there to the trailhead. But I'll just start going back now. It doesn't matter how you put the miles on, you just get them on there, right? It doesn't matter. If I was to go half a mile one way and a half a mile back 500 times, it doesn't matter. You want to put the miles on. That's all there is to it. Get them on there. All right, guys, I'm going to cut the video for a while. We'll pick it back up here, when we get back to the Red Fall. All right, guys, we made it to the Red Waterfall, and we are at 8.9 miles. So, yeah, we're getting there. My butt's getting sore already. I'm out of shape, man. I'm out of shape. But, yeah, so we're at 8 miles. We're going to head that way, go to maybe make it to the cemetery. All right, guys, we made it to the cemetery, and we are at, I don't know if you can see that, 11.46 miles. And the battery seems to be holding up, but I was just coming down the road here, and I gave it a little bit more throttle, and I felt like this little hesitation, like something was wrong, but we're going to find out here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to start heading back, and then we'll just totter it back and forth, a mile this way and a mile that way after I get back. So far, we're almost at 12. So the thing is only going to get 16. That's, it's not going to get more than it got last year. Okay, so we'll see where it goes from there. All right, guys, so this is about a minute since I just last talked to you, and the bike just died at 11.76 miles. So the battery has degraded over the year that I've had it. So, I mean, it did sit outside all winter. So, I mean, you're not supposed to leave it sit outside in the winter. So it did, and that's what happened. So now I'm stuck pedaling back to Sutersville, which I'm not sure how far it is. I think it's about 3 miles. And believe me, this bike is not easy to pedal. Okay, I think it is about 3 miles. But we're going to find out, because we're at 11.6 right now. So we're going to start pedaling back. The battery just completely died. So, yay. I'll see you in a little bit. Oh my God, dudes. This Voyager Radius Pro it's not a pedaler, man. Wow. I'll probably wind up being in the hospital if I have to pedal this thing back. Wow. It just doesn't have any. The most you can get with this is like this 4 or 5 miles an hour. It's so hard to pedal it. Unlike the Ancheer 20, it had a gearbox, so you could put it down into the first gear or whatever. But this thing is just single speed. So I'm probably going to be walking a lot, because this is so hard to pedal this thing. Yeah. It's real hard to pedal. This trip actually might be worse than the Ancheer 20 running out of dying battery deal. This is worse because it's so much harder to pedal this thing, you know. Yep, battery's completely dead. Oh well, we're gonna start. I'm gonna walk a little bit now because pedaling that thing's so difficult. All right, guys, I'm feeling like I'm gonna freaking die. Okay, so we're at what, 13.99. Yeah. Okay, so I still got let's see, we got half a mile of shorties to maybe two, so we're looking at like 2.5 miles to go, something like that. We'll find out. 11, I think it was 11.6 when we started this, so we've already been more than 2 miles walking. Oh, pedaling this thing, you can only go 4 miles an hour. Pedaling this thing's almost impossible. Okay, it's so strenuous on your legs, man. It's like my legs, my thigh muscles feel like they were knots pedaling this thing. And I'm walking 3 miles an hour, so it's not going to make much difference between walking and pedaling, except walking's nowhere near as strenuous. All right, guys, I made it to the red waterfall. It's at 14.95, so it's been 3 miles of walking, and I mean, riding this thing, it's just sheer torture. Okay, I mean, it is sheer torture. And it's even worse because I'm going back this way, and this is the uphill part. Okay, I'm going the uphill part. When I had to go the 8 miles with the Ancheer 20, I was going this way. There's a 2% grade on this thing, down going back that way, but it's going up that way. And you can feel the difference. Believe me, I know it's only 2%, but you feel it, especially when you're going this many miles. So, yeah, so I'm getting there. The red waterfall to Sutersville, I think, a little bit less than 2 more miles, but we'll see. All right, guys. There you go, Sutersville. There's the cars parked right there across the street. Okay, so we made it. So it's 16.15, and I broke down. It was 11.45 or something like that. But yeah, so I had to like pedal and walk 5 miles. Now this was the worst experience of my life having e-bikes. Okay, let me assure you that. Okay, this was way beyond. This was way beyond what happened with the Ancheer 20. Even though the Ancheer 20 was 9 miles and this was 5, but the Ancheer 20, you know, you can pedal that bike. That has 7-speed gearbox. This, no. Plus it was going uphill all the way back. So yeah, real bad news on that front. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I'll talk to you later. Holy